Good day, my name is Frank Steffen and I welcome you to this week's edition of Tourismus Namibia, where we once again concentrate on a couple of topics and also obviously give you a number of destinations which we feel are worthwhile visiting. And then at the end of the show we also have a little category that we call To the Point, where we hope to give you an interesting contribution. Like I said, my name is Frank Steffen. I'm the editor of Allgemeine Zeitung and obviously responsible for Tourismus Namibia. And today we will bring you, as under topics, we will bring you some weather news, quite harsh weather waiting for Namibia in the coming days. And then we will focus a bit on rock art. There's a bit of a hodgy-bodgy going on in that respect. And then last but not least, certainly not least, because I think it's a very serious item, is rhino poaching has suddenly raised its ugly face again in Namibia. And then under destinations, we will have a look at Olive Exclusive. That's a little boutique hotel that we have in Windhoek. And we also visit Nest Hotel, which is down in Luderitz, as you can see on the video there. And then at the end of the day, under To the Point, we will also have a look at the ocean cleanup. There is some older stuff that we're bringing you, but it's been updated by the organization called Ocean Cleanup. So that will be our show today. First up, obviously, we have topics. Right, up first and foremost, I would like to just quickly discuss weather. If you look at the following photo that I found, or it's been around on electronic media for some time now, it actually gives you a snow forecast. Now, this is not the first time that Namibia has been warned that there is snow coming, and the reason why I wanted to show you this is the forecast is for the 18th to the 23rd of June. So what we're basically saying is, guys, get ready. If you visit Namibia, for one or another reason, very often visitors think that in Namibia, you know, it's a warm country, don't worry, even if we go there in the winter, it will be fine. Well, clearly it's not always fine. And so just be prepared, bring jackets along if you visit Namibia in winter, because at times it becomes very, very cold here, contrary to popular belief. And if you really had a problem believing me, I just sort of combined all of these photos. There you can see Solitaire Railroad, that road. Then earlier, these were like in 2018. The bigger picture on the top right is Helmringhausen as you go towards Malterhur. And, you know, leaving the Luderitz road going up, that's quite close to Aus already, but it just shows you it becomes very cold. The left-hand one, Namibgrens, which is not that far from Windhoek, and then obviously even the dunes down in the region of Sossusvlei. So be prepared, especially if you want to camp. Just make sure that you've got the right stuff along. Right, and then we wanted to focus a bit on the rock art at Otjororongo. I should actually say Otjororongo and Farm Gross Okanju. Now, this is just a photo that a colleague of mine, Claudia Reiter, just added just to make us all aware what happens in Namibia. We've got these marvelous rock art sites, and then you've got these idiots, in this case, Eric, I don't know who, from France, who thought it would be nice if he added his little stuff there, and I wish he could go to hell for that. Talking about this whole thing, a study at the Otjororongo Granite Mounds and Farm Gross Okanju, northwest of Omaruru in the Irongo region, has found that mining activities have been destroying prehistoric rock carvings in the area. And that led to the recall of the environmental impact certificate. Now, the owners of Kungungu Quarry are now in a legal battle with the chairman of the Namibian Heritage Council and as well as the Ministry of Mines and Energy and Environment, Forestry and Tourism. So the ECC had been withdrawn last year already, and the reason was that the Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA, for quarrying of marble and granite in the area of Osho-Orongo and the farm gross Okanju, the studies had not considered the cultural heritage. And what is the cultural heritage? Quite simple. 30 important archaeological sites with 530 rock paintings. And I mean, clearly, I don't even know why it should be a dispute, because the dispute has now been going on since January 2020, after the Omachete community expressed their grief over quarrying activities in that region and witnessing the destruction of all these sites. Now, clearly, they're on the right side as far as I'm concerned. I find it surprising that somebody assumes the right to actually go to court over this sort of issue. It just goes to show there's sometimes money just seems to corrupt minds of people. I mean, what you see down there, those are not huts or something from miners. Those are all the cut-out portions already, because obviously granite and the marble cutting, you get these huge blocks that they cut out and they simply destroy. And by the time that people had actually discovered how serious this was, quite a number of these precious rock art sites had been destroyed already. And it's an old story. It's very similar to Recon Africa. Quick bucks to be made, and then in the long run we all lose. And what you can see here, clearly somebody's making a quick buck with the marble and that sort of quarry site. But then after a couple of years it's gone, and never to be able to host a tourist or any person from outside anymore, showing them the rich heritage that we really have in that regard. And I just find it a shame that people actually regard it as necessary to even go to court. You took a chance, you knew you were not on the right side of the law, and then you wait for things to go awry before you start reconsidering. So if they invested in that, so be it. I'm not sorry for these sort of people. And then obviously very, very bad news this week with our Rhino poaching that had been reported earlier in the week. A very sad day for Namibia, especially because they discovered that in the Etosha National Park, they discovered 11 rhino carcasses since the beginning of June 2022. Now, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism said in a press release that people should not be too critical of the MEFT because at the end of the day, Etosha is a huge area. Okay, I can totally get that. But what I don't get is that you have 11 of these animals that are found out there. Because if you have 11 rhinos poached, then you better believe one thing. Somebody's been sleeping on this job. Because even in Etosha, no matter where you are, especially with so many people being around, you are likely to hear a shot being fired, especially a shot to kill these sort of animals. These are not exactly all just trapped and with wires and stuff like that. 11 rhinos. I'll tell you now, what happened is in May, people went on leave, and they thought, no, we're all fine because currently Namibia doesn't have a real problem with rhino poaching. You better believe that these Chinese and Vietnamese cartels that are into this sort of thing, they never sleep. Money doesn't sleep. These guys are made and trained to do this type of atrocious activity. And with South Africa sharpening up their efforts, well, it was just a question of time before we in Namibia were the next target, especially because we've been talking about the fact that our rhino population has been very stable over the past few years. So yeah, this is really bad news, and I don't think we will see the last of it, because I'm quite sure that they've discovered the 11 now, and news has been spreading. So with the result is now MEFT has come out. I'm very sure we'll still find a couple of more rhinos out there with a similar thing, because this invariably over the years we've seen that once this starts, it takes some time to get it under control again. So this year will be a bad year, I'm quite sure of that. Right, those are our topics for the week. Let's hope that, especially with the rock art and with the rhino poaching, that Namibia gets that under control as fast as possible, because we don't want to be known out there to be one of the countries that don't take care of their heritage, I need to say. Right, up next we've got destinations. Welcome back, and let's delve right into it. Destinations. The first destination was found by Michael Amuyele. He's a colleague of mine at MarketWatch. No, I'm talking nonsense actually, for Namibian Sun. And he found the Olive Exclusive All Suite Hotel. Now this one can be found, it's actually very close to Namibia Media Holdings. Those blue roofs that you see on the top there, that's Namibia Media Holdings. And so it's not far from there that this item is found. It's close. You have to approach it though from the inside city part, I would say. On the left-hand side, that yellow road leading from south to north, that is the Robert Mugabe Road. And it's from there that you would turn into Promenaden Road and then work your way. Sorry, I'm wrong, Luderitz Road, and then you work yourself towards Promenaden Avenue. And there you see it as we delve in closer. There on the left, you can still see Robert Mugabe. Like I said, Luderitz Road, you just turn up. There's quite a lot of eateries and stuff that we've already introduced to you in the past. First road left, and then the next road right again, and then you would go up quite a steep hill. And once you've gone over the hill, you would come very close to what is then the Olive Exclusive, as they call it in short. This is what it looks like, and there on towards your right-hand side, towards the top, those are the large buildings and stuff like that. So what they reckon is this intimate boutique hotel lies in a tranquil corner of Windhoek, and it embodies what they call essence of chic comfort. On their internet site, they write, elegant, inspired, always delicious, and never formal. Here you can see, very nice. This is sort of from the bottom side, so from Nelson Mandela Road as you look up towards the top. So the Olive Exclusive is the first ultra-luxurious sanctuary of its kind in the Namibian capital. It's cool, contemporary and stylish, but with a warm heart and authentic African soul. And the reason why this is so, it's number one, it's eco-friendly. You could see these solar installations there. It's got dedicated personal servers, natural furnishings, and all types of things. And each suite is individually decorated to reflect the different regions in Namibia. Now that I find very nice. Because we've got 14 different regions, people are different, yet we're one and the same. And each has its own lounge area with fireplace and dining room for private dining, air conditioning, high definition satellite TV and iPod docking stations, and so on. So there's Wi-Fi access. And then obviously they've got a nice little restaurant which you can use as well. So very nice Olive Exclusive, all suite hotel. Michael has also brought us a video. Have a look.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting edition of Tourismus Namibia. Today we are finding ourselves at Olive Exclusive Hotel. My name is Michael Kayunde and I'm going to take you through a tour of one of their junior rooms. Follow me. This is one of their junior rooms, very big as well. It has everything from the mirror to the sitting area here, very comfortable. As well as, please follow me this side. This is the comfortable bed they have, and this side is the bathroom. So you have your bathtub here, you have your robes here, and here is the shower. Here's the shower.
Good day, my name is Luderitz. I'm a manager at the Olive Exclusive. We have 7 rooms, 7 suites like they would call it, of which 4 is premier suites, which have their own little splash pool, swimming pool, and 3 is junior suites. We also have a communal swimming pool. We have a restaurant. We cater for small weddings up to about 40 people maximum. So if you want to have something small, which is more intimate, then you can call us. It's very nice here. We are situated in Promenade Road 22. And if you watch this movie and you like the video, you can give us a call at 8061 383890.
Right, that was the Olive Exclusive all-suite hotel in a very nice area, just up from Klein Windhoek. As you come down Nelson Mandela Drive, you can see it on the left-hand side, or well, on the upper side if you come from the west towards and turn sort of towards the east and north. Doesn't matter, it's in a very exclusive area, that is for sure. And I, for my part, didn't know of that hotel before, so I think Michael did well to pick it up. And so if you come to Windhoek sooner than later, then maybe it's something you want to consider, not only for people from outside, if I'm saying outside, not only for formal tourists that come from overseas, or from South Africa or wherever, but also Namibians who want to spend some time in Windhoek or need to spend some time in Windhoek. Right, up next we've got Luderitz Nest Hotel, and many of you will remember that we've spoken about it before. The Luderitz Nest Hotel, if you look at the photo here, it's situated in the lagoon, and clearly this picture illustrates just how nicely it sort of snugly fits onto that little land tongue that you've got reaching into the lagoon. Very nice place, just down from the old power station. The power station, you will remember, is where the part that they've now integrated into the Luderitz waterfront. So if we look at the other photos, we can carry on as we go. This is from the porch, looking back towards the power station that you see on the top there. So I was in contact with Bruno de Commandant, and he takes care of marketing side of the Luderitz Nest Hotel. And I personally regard that hotel as one of our country's finest, I must be honest. It's got a super nice atmosphere, and all rooms have a sea view. So Bruno shared one of what he regards as fantastic guest reviews of the hotel received in May 2022. Now, just to remind you, that's just the past month. And it actually says, a well-positioned hotel with all you really need contained within. I was very pleased with the location of the hotel, its proximity to the water, the restaurant, and friendliness of the staff. We only had dinner there on the first night, but it was brilliant. Our room was right up by the water with great views across the bay. Parking was perfect with security watching over the vehicles. This was great considering we were traveling on a motorbike and security of the bike is always a concern. They made special provision for me to park right at the entrance of the hotel. Even if I was forced to think of something I didn't like, I can't. Great place, I will return in a heartbeat. Now that's clearly nice. Now this photo was something that I took at HAN. That was the Hotel Association of Namibia's Congress earlier in the year in February. And Nest Hotel actually catered there. You can see later on it was quite a filled site. Bruno, on the comment that I just read out, he actually gave me a comment, and he said to me, despite the huge challenges posed by the COVID virus to our business, we have come out stronger and better, and the attached guest review is just a proof of that. The Nest Hotel has actually already reviewed their rates for 2023, which means that you can actually plan quite early. And they've obviously also updated their website, which they do from time to time, but what they now call a compact and very easy view. Now, what's always struck me about Nest Hotel, and it's something that I very much like, is the fact that they've got what they call a fact sheet. Nest Hotel is one of those places. By the way, these are all photos that I made when I was down there doing the HUN conference. But what I like about Nest Hotel, coming back to the hotel, is they've never gone and only promoted themselves as a hotel. They see Luderitz as a tool for them to do their business. There you see Nest Hotel sort of sticking out. This was a photo that I took from the power station right as you go towards the hotel. Like I said, it's not the power station anymore. It was an old power station. On the photo you can actually see the old slipways because there used to be a boatyard on the left-hand side. This was something that I took at the time of HUN Congress, where I stood on the lawn of the hotel just looking out on its jetty. Now, its jetty is not very stable, but nevertheless I was able to just quickly sneak onto the jetty and make these sort of photos. This was where the people had their little thingy in the evening. It was a sundowner. And you can see there clearly, very nice beach. So in summertime, this is like, on that day specifically, it was super warm and very nice. So I certainly would always go there. That's one thing that's for very sure. This was, they lit up a huge fire on the occasion, and I actually enjoyed that very much. Made a couple of photos of that. So Nest Hotel, certainly it's Ulf Grunewald, who's quite well known there. You can see the German church right way up there on top. I took this more from the side. You know, just to illustrate to you, it's a very nice place. I mean, Luderitz is Luderitz. It's in the desert. You can clearly see here outside the town, Zalkai Speelgebied National Park that starts there. I and my colleagues, we spent some time on the Saturday morning driving around the area and just having a look outside Luderitz. We were offered the opportunity to go out on various excursions, but on that day we decided, no, that's enough. Let's rather focus on what is around and in Luderitz, because we've spoken so often about all the other items. So that's the Nest Hotel here. This was on the outside, by the way. That's the fjord. I obviously know these areas because as a child that's where we went, and so for me it was a bit of a nostalgic trip to some extent when I visited there in February. But it gives you an idea of what you look at. This is at Halifax. That's the island on the side there. You can see the buildings there in the background. It's just a totally different area. So even if you come to Luderitz and you don't want to drive to the Rock Arch and Elizabeth Bay and all these sites, there's still enough to be done as you visit the surrounding areas. This obviously being quite close to the Dias Cross, which is from, as I view this one here, would be now towards the left, sort of leftish side behind me. Very nice area, certainly something that you can visit and enjoy a bit. This is obviously the replica of the cross, because we know that this was done later in the years, but this is like right on front where, if you want to call it, the bay has its end. The lighthouse was basically just behind us as I took that photo. Yeah, right, and that's Luderitz, and if you think Luderitz, then Nest Hotel must certainly be one of your possible options. Like I said, Ulf Grunewald is an institution in Luderitz, and they were at pains at Nest Hotel to not only cater at the waterfront where Han had its congress, but they also took great pains to cater that evening out at Kolmaskop, and that takes a bit of a logistic effort. So anyway, well done to them, and I thought I'd just tell you more about that hotel one more time. Up next, we've got To The Point. Right, and under To The Point, I did something different this week. You will remember that last week we spoke about the World Ocean Day. And some time back, we actually posted a video of the environmental initiative calling themselves Ocean Cleanup. And they had an innovative system, 002 that they called it. And in the video, they explained how it works. And so we're now following their site quite regularly, having a look at what they still have to offer. And so one of the things that they have is they've got a little video where they explain more or less what they're doing, because this is a private initiative, just remember. So they reckoned, did you know that most of the discarded garbage ends up in the oceans forming garbage patches? Surely you've heard of them already, especially in the Pacific. There's one area that's as huge as something like 60 kilometers diameter, if I remember correctly. So environmentalists from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the British fund, have calculated that if garbage disposal continues at the same rate as it does today, then by 2025, that's only 3 years down the line, there will be 1 kilogram of garbage for every 3 kilograms of fish. That's a ratio of 1 to 3. And by 2050, there will be more garbage than fish in all the world's oceans. So although many environmental organizations are trying to solve this problem, it looks like only the ocean cleanup has so far come close to solving the problem of the large garbage patch. And so I downloaded that video and I wanted to show it to you. Here it is.
Did you know that most of the discarded garbage ends up in the oceans forming garbage patches? Environmentalists from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation British Fund have even calculated that if garbage disposal continues at the same rate, then by 2025 there will be 1 kilogram of garbage for every 3 kilograms of fish. And by 2050 there will be more garbage than fish in all the world's oceans. Although many environmental organizations are trying to solve this problem, it looks like only the ocean cleanup has come close to solving the problem of the large garbage patch. Today, there are 5 large accumulations of garbage in the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. The largest spot even received its own name, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, GPGP. It drifts between Hawaii and California, constantly increasing in size. In 2018, scientists even managed to conduct an observation using 30 ships and 652 pieces of surface nets to measure the area of pollution. As a result, it became known that GPGP covers an area of 1.6 square kilometers. For comparison, it's like 2 Texas states or 3 French territories. Nearly 80% of floating debris is plastic: toothbrushes, toilet seats, plates, spoons, forks, and more. All these ends up in the stomachs of marine life and birds, causing suffocation or indigestion. As the researchers note, the problem is only getting worse. Every year, from 1.1 to 2.4 million tons of new plastic waste gets into the oceans. One of the companies that has offered a rather original solution to this problem is the Ocean Cleanup. The founders of the company decided to clear the oceans of garbage in a rather brutal way. They proposed building a giant net, similar to a fishing net. and using it to start collecting plastic. The collected garbage is recycled and later reused in people's lives. The first prototype, called System 001, was launched in September 2018. For 4 months, Ocean Cleanup has been studying its prototype at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. More than 273 tests were carried out, during which 30 ships and an aircraft were involved. Unfortunately, the first prototype showed serious flaws. In particular, the system could not effectively hold the plastic. Insufficient strength was also revealed. During the work, an 18-meter section came off the system. The second project, dubbed System 001/B and launched in 2019, has become more successful. Major errors in the first draft were fixed, and new solutions were tested. In particular, such as speeding up the plastic collection system using buoys and slowing down work with a special sea anchor parachute. Acceleration and deceleration are necessary for the most optimal passage of polluted waters. A lot of time was devoted specially to changing the configuration of the underwater part of the system to reduce the load. The company was not eager to lose another section as in the previous project. Also noteworthy was the fact that when it returned to Canada in December 2019, the company used plastic to create sunglasses. However, neither the first nor the second project satisfied the founder of the Ocean Cleanup, Boyan Slat. He wants to cut GPGP by half in 5 years, and for this, the capacity of the first two systems is not enough. That is why upon completion of the second project, work on the third one, the System 002, was immediately launched. And although the basic principle has remained the same, to catch plastic with the help of barriers and then take it to land, the new project has become more innovative. First, the standard characteristics were improved. The coverage of the special barrier was expanded to 1,800 meters. The efficiency of plastic catching was increased and the strength of the sections was increased. Secondly, for the first time, they began to actively use the engines of ships to increase the speed of movement over a garbage patch. In the first projects, this was not due to a sharp drop in the effectiveness of the above-mentioned barrier. Third, a navigation system was launched to control the barrier. This will allow the team to pick up garbage from the tightest areas. To test the new technology, on July 31, 2021, the team headed back to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, starting from Port Victoria, Canada. Over the next 12 weeks, the Ocean Cleanup tested System 002's strength, efficiency, speed, and agility over and over again. The tests turned out to be so difficult that the team even had to arrange a break, dividing the trip into 2 parts, 6 weeks each. And only by October 20, 2021, was the team able to officially end the tests, returning to Canada. The project was recognized as a success, and by November, System 002 returned to the garbage patch for regular cleaning. Thus, we are able to officially declare that it's game over for the GPGP. But despite the successful completion of the tests and the beginning of work to clean up the largest garbage patch in the ocean, the problem of ocean pollution remains acute. People also continue to use plastic in their daily life and throw it into landfills, where it eventually ends up in rivers, seas, and oceans. That is why the Ocean Cleanup, having sent their latest development to clean the ocean and practically solving this issue, immediately began to develop a new, more advanced technology called System 003. The creators want to make it cheaper and faster so that in the future, it would be possible to establish a serial production to clean up all the oceans. They hope that the new system being developed will be able to work as part of an entire fleet. But maybe we should also think about how to stop using a large amount of plastic in our lives.
Right, and that's the Ocean Cleanup, and I think this is a very important initiative. We in Namibia are a bit fortunate because we've got a very strong current basically dragging quite a lot of dirt away from us, but it still has to land somewhere. So I hope over time that the oceans are really given a good chance to just recover. I sometimes sound like these ultra greenish guys. It's not who I am, but I just feel there's certain items that are not negotiable, and the environment can only get fixed if we start getting our act together. It is just the way it is, and I always feel that people who say, it's just one of these greenies and tree huggers and whatever. No, boy, we've gone on for too many years not being active and not being proactive, I need to say, to make sure that our environment can hold tread with what we are doing. So we need to just back down a bit and make sure that our world actually has the opportunity to catch up with what we are doing. And whatever we do going forward, we need to be sure that this is sustainable. It's just the way it is, because our kids just sit with the problem at the end of the day. Anyway, enough preaching from my part. This is our edition of this week, and I hope I was able to entertain you a bit and also bring you some relevant news. We'll be back next week, same time. As I said last time already, we these days bring out the show on Saturday mornings. We then have a first show again on our DSTV and GoTV channels that same evening, but that's the German version. The English version is brought out on Sunday evenings at 7 o'clock. Like I said, the German version comes out on Saturday evenings at 8:30, but the English one comes at 7 o'clock on Sunday. That's if you want to watch it on TV. But with all the tech going on these days, you can simply switch on to 1UP2, which is our NTV channel on the internet. And there you can watch this show as well as many others before, plus our various other news shows that we've brought for the past week. Anyway, that's just a reminder that you're not bound to always the Facebook channel that we have. Anyway, that's us for today. I hope you still have a very enjoyable weekend and a good week coming ahead. And then we see each other hopefully in another 7 days' time. Until then, remain healthy and look after yourself. Bye.